everyone, welcome to Craft Time. Today we're working on the letter E, E for Elmer. So get out all your craft supplies and templates and let's get started. In front of me I have my template for Elmer, the elephant, as well as half of a file folder to use like cardstock, an eyeball, and then lots of different colors. I've got green and blue paper, yellow paper, red, purple, pink, and even a little bit of orange. Now, of course, you could just go in and color Elmer, but we don't want to do that. We want to do a little bit more for him to make it a little bit more fun. So let's start by looking at the colors that we have. Let's take them, they're relatively the same size. And I want to start, I can do this one last. I'm going to start just by putting them all together in my hand. Then I'm going to start making strips, but about the size of my squares. So how do I do that? Well, let's take our scissors, holding everything securely. And actually, if you have a paper clip from your crafting, you can put your paper clip on there to help you as well. So let's take our scissors and let's cut some pieces. Do they all need to be the same size? Not really. It'd be nice if they were a little bit the same, but as you can tell from here, there are some that are different sizes, and we will cut them to shape when we get to gluing. But for now, let's just go ahead and cut our strips, and then we'll cut them into squares. I'm going to move this to the side. And just keep creating those strips while I'm holding them in my hands, all these papers. Now, if you're not comfortable holding them all at the same time, hold each sheet or maybe two sheets at once and cut those sheets into strips and then go back and do the other colors. I feel good with that. Let's grab them all and let's start making squares. So I've got a few in there and I'm just going to cut them about that size. And if you need to look at Elmer to see what size, you can take your strips, hold them close, and cut them like so. And some of them are going to pop all over the place. Don't worry about it. The lines on the paper are just a guideline for us, which means that we can do other cuttings as well. I like to keep them relatively the same, making sure that I'm getting all the different colors in there. I may not even use all of this paper, but I want to prepare as much as possible ahead of time. So I'm going to go in and continue to cut. I'll let those go and come on in here. That feels good to me. So now I just want to make sure that I have a little bit of orange. So let's take our orange, go on in, put them together, hold them, and cut our squares. Perfect. Now I am going to take my, what am I going to start with? I think I'll start with blues. So as you can see, I'm going to show you, we're just going to start randomly taking our colors and putting them on the squares. Now these squares are too big. No problem. Just going to go in and cut it to shape. And we're going to go all the way across. So let's do one row together, shall we? Just take it, our glue, put it on there like that, and start taking the pieces and putting them on. Pressing down as we go, making sure that they're secure. I think I want to get a yellow, but again, that's too big. No problem. Watch my fingers. Go on in and cut my pieces. Now you'll notice that there's some in there that are small, and I'm pretty sure I cut some smaller pieces. I'm just going to go in with my glue and put it like so. Now don't worry if you're going to go over, because we're going to cut that again later. And I'm going to randomly put these pieces on. I don't want to line up the same color underneath the color on top. I want them all to be different, like a checkerboard. Let's do the second one together. taking our time, filling up each of the spaces. And once we've gotten to this section, we can go ahead, put on our glue, and do the entire elephant, and then check back in a minute. Let's finish up together. Let's go down wherever you are. Just continue to put your glue on. Let's just go on in and finish up our pieces. Now this is a challenging craft because you're having to use your scissor skills a lot and create shapes that match the shapes. So you're doing a great job. Don't give up now. You're almost there. So I'm just seeing here that I have some different shapes. So I'm just going to go and put my smaller pieces in here, like so. And you know what? Sometimes the glue can be a little bit finicky, but that's okay. We'll just take our time and do the best that we can. So now what I want to do is I want to cut out my Elmer. So let's take our scissors and let's go around very carefully. And the pieces that are hanging over like that, let's just cut them off and follow the elephant's line. That's why I wasn't so worried about my pieces hanging over, because I knew that I would be cutting them off after. Going around and down again, around Elmer. Now, if there's sections that you missed and you want to go back and do, you can. Or you could use your marker and color them in. Or you can leave them. It's okay if there's one or two pieces. Whatever feels good for you. Now this one's tricky, so I'm going to go in very carefully. Around the mouth and the chin. And bringing it right back. Perfect. All right, Elmer is looking really good. Now what I want to do is I want to take off my eyeball and I want to turn Elmer over to the wrong side. Put glue all over his back, all over his body, his legs, his trunk. Make sure there's lots so he's very sticky. Be very careful as we're turning over. And then press down. Now be careful when you're pressing down because you don't want to take off your construction pieces that you've already worked so hard to place. And now I'm going to cut him out again and he'll be that much stronger. So let's go ahead and do that. Take your scissors, go all the way around like you did before. And this time you can get a little bit closer if you want, because this is the final step. Take that off. And like this. Watch your fingers, be very careful. I know you're very good with your scissor skills by now, but I always think it's good to remind each other. There we go. Around like so. I will come back and do inside the trunk in a second. Wonderful. Now let's come back again. In we go. Around and around. And And it's so much nicer now that we've put a backing on Elmer because of all the little pieces. He's super strong now. Making sure I don't cut his leg. Boop. Very nice. 1 and 2. And there he is. The last thing I'm going to do, put on a googly eye, of course. So let's take our glue. Put a little bit of glue over the eye, like so. Elmer is looking really excellent. Elmer, the elephant. Way to go, everyone. I hope you had fun today. I can't wait to see your photos. I'll see you next time.